right, ready for some Friday afternoon yoga? Start in a comfortable seat. So I'm going to share something personal that I'm not very proud of. I went to the dentist this morning after a few years of not going. That's a different story. And found out I had several cavities, but not from eating too much sugar or not brushing my teeth. In fact, it was from brushing my teeth too hard, apparently. Interesting. I got to thinking of, and you know, we've been talking about the 8 limbs of yoga, and the first 2 limbs are all about the practices off the mat, like ahimsa, non-violence, satya, truthfulness, tapas, having discipline, and how do we balance all of that? The 4 Agreements is a wonderful book written by Don Miguel Ruiz. And in the 4th agreement, these are keys to living a peaceful life, basically, is to do your best. What does do your best? If you're an overachiever, how do you interpret your best? If you are on the other side of that spectrum, maybe not so motivated for certain things, what does your best mean? I'm not here to tell you the answer, but just to provoke some introspection on how do we utilize the sutras of yoga, such informative tools, though they were created ages ago, still practical because we're still human beings, having the same kinds of experiences of letting the ego talk and finding out what is true for us in life. So we utilize these physical postures. Many a times they can be so helpful as analogies to how we do certain things in our life off the mat. How do we find that balance, and how do we define doing our best unique to the moment, unique to the context? If I'm working with an injury, doing my best is going to look differently than when I'm not injured. So it's an interesting line, and so important to be aware of ourselves as the yoga practice nudges us to constantly do. There's another niyama, svadhyaya, and that means self-study. It's constantly observing our own behaviors, habits, and their effects, not only on us. So I invite you to utilize those in the most way that it resonates with you, especially svadhyaya. Observing our behaviors physically. Do we push ourselves constantly to the edge? Do we find ways to take a step back and observe little by little, finding that balance of yin and yang, of passive and active, of resting and doing? So here we are. Thanks for joining me today. As you sit tall and get more physically grounded with intention of balancing the sitting bones down, left and right. Begin to lift the spine and allow space for breath in your physical body. Maybe you close the eyes and let the body be still as you just connect with what's going on right now in your body, in your mind, energetically, in how you're feeling. What is your body asking for in this time and space? What is your spirit asking for, your inner being? Perhaps you join your palms to meet at the heart and set an intention, a dedication of the efforts you put into this practice to something meaningful for you. Inviting a deeper breath. Open the mouth as you exhale and listen to that sound. Try a few more breaths like that, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your lips. Now, pay attention to breathing into your belly as we begin Bhastrika Pranayama. I'll do a quick demo. It's a great energizing breath work or pranayama that helps to also calm the mind, interestingly, as well as increase the oxygen intake of the lungs. There is a physical action that goes with this breath work, and it begins with the elbows bent apart, hands like fists. And as you inhale, you raise the arms and spread the fingers. As you exhale, you rebend the elbows and refist the hands. It's rhythmic. You're breathing just through the nose and closing the eyes, steadying your gaze at the center between the eyebrows. Here's a demo. Equal in and out breaths, rhythmic to your pace. So I'm gonna set the timer here for 1 minute of that. Let's prepare by bending the elbows apart, relaxing the shoulders and sitting tall. Ready? Begin. And relax. Just breathe naturally a moment and observe the effects of that action, that pranayama. Let's dive deeper into Ujjayi pranayama, maintaining that heat that you're cultivating as you close the lips. Sustaining the breath equally through your nose while softly narrowing the back of your throat so that you invite a sound, a whisper that you can hear that's gentle. So steadying that pace of breath, gently open your eyes and take a look at the way that you're sitting. If one leg is crossed forward or on top, try switching the cross of your legs. And then press your hands on your lap as you lift the spine from the pelvis. Keep the pelvis heavy and start to rotate. Pull the spine forward as you breathe in. Back as you breathe out. Hearing the breath as it brushes past the back of your throat. Warming up your body as you exhale through the nose. Switch the rotations. Great way to just begin to warm up the lower back and hips. Switch directions again. And one more time, switch directions. Helping to increase mobility in the spine. And then sit up tall, extend your left leg forward. Let's prepare for a spinal twist. Stepping your right foot either in front of the hip or going a little further in the setup, crossing the foot outside of your left knee, or you might also bend the left knee, just making sure that your spine is tall, you're grounded. And then place the right hand behind your pelvis on the floor, raising the left arm. As you press into the ground, even with that right foot, lift up each vertebra of your spine, relaxing the shoulders. Take a deep breath. Then exhale, twist to your right. So you're just turning the rib cage, not the pelvis, and lower your left arm. So you're either holding on to your right shin or you're hooking the elbow outside of the thigh. Then continue to press into the ground, lifting up through the center line of your torso as you breathe in. And now hollow the belly as you breathe out and see if you could twist a little further, just little by little. Allowing 2 more deep breaths here as we add even more mobility throughout the spine. Find some ease perhaps in the lower back if you carry any tension there. As you exhale, unwind the spine, straightening the left leg for Janu Shirshasana, a forward fold. So take the sole of your right foot, place it high on your inner left thigh. Flexing your left foot, you might choose to wrap a strap around the ball of the foot. But if you have none, just frame your left leg with your 2 hands. Again, from down your sitting bones, lift up through the center line of your torso and breathe in. Then as you exhale, hinging from your hips, extend your sternum towards your left pinky toe. Little by little, as you breathe in, pause in the range you're at, and keep grounding the pelvis, stretching the spine from it. With the exhalations, hollow the belly, lifting it to support the back as you fold, perhaps a little bit. Defining that balance of where is the edge of flexibility here, but also still breathe just as calmly. So having the throat open, facilitate. 1 more deep breath here in Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. Now firming the belly still, begin to lift from your chest and inhale, lift your spine. Straighten the right leg forward. Try to set up for the same way in the twist as you did on side 1 if you can. So stepping the left foot either in front of the hip or outside of the right knee and or bending the right knee. Place the left hand on the ground behind your pelvis and raise your right arm. So press into the earth with every part of your body touching it as you breathe length up the center of your spine. Exhaling, twist at your waistline and then lower your right arm, holding your shin or hooking your elbow out the thigh. Keep grounding and lifting as you breathe in. Now let your belly hollow as you breathe out, as you continue to turn. Shoulders are down, put space in your neck. Shin is out parallel to the ground. Let's give it 2 more breaths. Then breathing out, unwind your spine and let's straighten the right leg forward for Janu Shirshasana. Bring the sole of your left foot high on your inner right thigh. Flex your right foot, perhaps wrap a strap around the ball of it, or place your hands to frame your right leg. From down through the sitting bones, lift up through the center of the spine. Exhale, hinge from your hips, just a little bit. Inhale, firm down through the sitting bones, elongate the spine, and exhale, maybe fold another little bit. So feel even here, you're encouraging the belly to hollow with your out breath. That engagement of the abdomen offering support for your lower back. Let's take about 2 more breaths in. Now start to lift from your chest. Inhale to rise up. All right, let's take it down onto all 4s, hands and knees. So setting your knees just under your hips, place your wrists about 2 inches in front of your shoulders. And let's actually make some spider fingers. So come up high on your fingertips, actively hollowing the center of your palms, offering some engagement in the muscles that support the wrists. And like this, let's take a few cat-cows to warm up the spine further. As you breathe in, glide your chest forward, then coil it up, drawing the shoulder blades down. Cow pose. As you breathe out, contract your belly, then tuck your tailbone under your body as you drop the skull to round, cat pose. Keep going. Inhale, lengthen the lower back. Then arch right under the shoulder blades to lift the chest. Exhale, contract the belly, feeling the stretch in your back. And take about 3 or so more cycles of breath, nice and slow, so that you can really pay attention to the nuances within each movement and pose. Arming down through the fingertips, hollowing and lifting the center of the palms. With your exhalation, relax to a neutral spine. And now let's plant the palms flat. So the index fingers are both facing forward, parallel to each other. The thumbs are reaching towards each other. And then right here, try to broaden the shoulder blades apart. We did a lot of exercises of squeezing the shoulder blades together and splaying the shoulder blades apart. That's retract and protract. So come into that protraction. Then rotate the outer sides of your upper arms towards the rear of your mat. Tuck the toes behind, bend your knees generously, and press the ground away with your hands as you lift your pelvis as high as you can into downward dog. Now take a look at your feet and separate them a little wider than hips distance. Begin to turn out your right leg, spinning the heel down as you straighten the leg, and look underneath your right armpit towards the sky for a couple of breaths. So you're drawing the right outer hip towards your rear wall and relaxing your neck, letting your skull just hang heavily. Now parallel the feet again, bend both knees. Then turn out your left leg, spinning the heel down as you straighten the left leg. Look under your left armpit towards the sky. Tapping the left hip back, deep breath. Feel that you're lifting the shoulders away from your neck, and then come back to parallel feet and take any other motion, if any motion, for a few more breaths. Maybe turning the head in different ways to feel that your neck is loose. Another way to practice downward dog that's modified, if you're veering away from putting a lot of weight in your hands, is to come down to your knees and set them right under your hips, and to straighten the arms forward so the arms are active and the belly is active, like a flat back type of feeling. Or you can come down to your forearms and practice dolphin pose. You've got a lot of options, and you can always take child's pose if you need to rest or lay off. So let's take a couple more breaths in whatever variation of downward dog that you're in. From here, walk your hands back towards your feet to fold over your legs, making sure your feet are at least hips width apart, parallel your second toes. Then again, bend your knees a lot, tilt more weight towards the balls of your feet, and reach your hands behind your lower back to interlace your fingers. Try to hug the heels of your palms together. You could also hold a strap between your hands if your shoulders are feeling tight. As you breathe in, engage the belly like plank pose and elongate your spine forward, gazing towards the tip of your nose. Hugging the elbows closer together, exhale, fold in. Now let the head go. You can even shake it out gently as you're lifting the arms forward, away from your lower back. Keep a slight bend in the elbows, and also lift the shoulders up, away from the neck. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Now fluttering your lips, relax your jaw. Try one more on your own. Fluttering the lips. Now release the fingertips either on the floor, head, or your legs. Keep at least a little bend in your knees. And as you engage your belly, breathe into that half forward fold again. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold again. Firming down through your feet, still firming the belly. Sweep the arms up as you inhale to rise into Urdhva Hastasana. So as you lift the arms overhead, careful not to shrug the shoulders. If they are, bring the hands further forward so that you can relax the shoulders. Exhale, your palms together at your heart. Let's take 2 rounds of half sun salutations, moving to the breath. Inhale, sweep your arms up, gazing up. Exhale, hinge from your hips with a long spine that might require bent knees. Press your fingertips down. Inhale, lift the chest and lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, fold again. From down through the feet, inhale, sweep the arms, rising as you look up, relaxing the shoulders. Exhale back to the heart center. Once more, Ardha Surya Namaskar. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to lengthen forward. Exhale, fold in. Rooting down, inhale, rise up. Exhale, back to the heart. Let's take it all the way to the floor this time. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. This time, crawl your hands forward into your version of plank pose, where we'll stay for about 5 breaths. So see that your wrists are directly under your shoulders. Feel again the protraction or spreading apart of your shoulder blades. And whether your knees are on the ground for added support or your legs are straight, lift the lower belly and look forward of your hands to maintain the natural length and space in your neck. If the legs are straight, engage the front of your thighs by firming the heels back. Think of mountain pose, really solid though it's horizontal. Now with an exhalation, glide forward, bend. Then chin, then slide the belly and legs to the floor. So see that your wrists are alongside your floating ribs as you hug the elbows close to your sides. Firm down through the tops of your feet so much that your knees are not resting on the mat. Then keep your pelvis on the floor as you breathe in and draw the shoulder heads behind you to lift your chest, pressing the shoulder blades down, cobra pose. Press down through hands and knees or with legs straight in full plank. Engage your lift up and lift the tailbone back, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 to 5 breaths here. So this time, hold still. Let the stillness encourage awareness of subtler details. Steadying the eyes. Now listen to the end of this exhalation, and at the bottom of it, hold the breath out with bent knees and walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat into a forward fold. Breathing in, lift the heart, lengthen the spine forward. Breathing out, fold in. Inhale, rise up, gazing up. Exhale back to your heart center. Let's try 2 more cycles of sun salutation A. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press, lengthen halfway. Step back to plank. If you're jumping, make sure you land with elbows bent in chaturanga. And on lower, inhaling into cobra or upward facing dog. Firming down through the tops of your feet. Engage the belly to lift the pelvis into downward facing dog. And then take 3 to 5 breaths there. Again, being still, steadying your eyes on one spot on the ground just towards your feet. But in that stillness, aware of how your breath is flowing and how you're continuing to lift the tailbone up and back. Root down through finger spread, creating space in your body. Listening to this last breath at the end of the exhalation, think of lifting your pelvic floor to lightly land at the top of your legs. Breathe in to lengthen forward. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up, looking up. Exhale to your heart center. One more time, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Plant the hands and walk back or float into chaturanga. Breathe into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Again, let's hold a few breaths. From here, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. And as you exhale, bend the right knee to tap your right outer upper arm, shifting forward to plank. Pause a moment there, gaze forward, and see if you can inhale, lift the right knee a little higher towards your right armpit. Then lightly step the right foot outside of the right hand and come into your lunge. So you can lower your back knee. You might have blocks under your hands, or you might be high on the ball of your left foot. Find the option that allows your breath, again, to be full and balanced, and you have space around your neck and shoulders. So let's flex the right foot, splay the right thigh open so that you're leaning on the knife outer edge of that right foot without collapsing into the outer ankle. And as you're breathing here, consciously listening to it, draw your right outer hip back slightly in an effort of trying to keep the hips back facing forward, and extend your sternum forward, the middle of the chest. Now, if you're feeling like you need more sensation in this pose in that right outer hip, you can come down lower onto your forearms. You could even crawl the fingertips forward and start to lower your throat to the floor. Oops, that's a little too much for me right now. But that's an option if you're really warm. And let's take 3 more deep breaths in lizard lunge. All right, with the help of your fingertips on the ground, set your right foot onto the front and center of your mat, preparing for warrior 2. As you face the front of your mat and align right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Bending the right knee from down through both feet and cartwheel your arms to rise up. So as you open your arms wide, see that your stance is about wide enough where your wrists can stack above your ankles. If that feels too intense, you can shorten your stance. You can lighten the bend of the right knee. Now, as you wrap your right sitting bone down underneath your body, helping to turn out your right leg from the hip, align the middle of your right knee and middle toe down the center line of your mat. And in contrast to that right hip, firm in the top of the left thigh bone, as though you're pressing it towards that right wide width of your mat. Feel a slight lift of your lower belly towards your heart as you engage it. And then reopening the arms, relax the shoulders. Steady your eyes in one spot, whether they're closed or you're gazing forward in front of your right hand, and tune in to the subtleties you feel within this posture for 4 more breaths. Let's prepare for triangle pose. To straighten your right leg, you might like to shorten your stance, maybe 2 inches for stability. Keep firming the fronts of your thighs and glide your pelvis sideways towards the back edge of your mat while reaching your right hand forward towards your front wall as far as you can reach before tilting that right hand down to land on your right leg or to the right outside of it. The right sitting bone under your body so as to prevent compression in the right hip or right side of your torso. Remember, you could place the right hand even higher than where you initially placed it. So as you raise the left arm up, feel your wrists and shoulders stack. Glide both of your shoulder blades down your back and lengthen through the sides of your neck. Keep firming the belly in and see if you can rotate the middle of your chest slightly more to face the ceiling. Maybe you're looking up towards the left thumb, if that feels okay on your neck. But find one steady point for your eyes to gaze. And again, let's take 4 more breaths here in Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Feel that the weight through your right hand is not too heavy. You could lift a finger more if needed. Now raise your left arm overhead as you rotate the tricep towards your left wall and look down at your right foot for 1 more inhale. Lowering your left hand flat on the floor, set your left knee on the ground and begin to slide the right foot all the way to the rear of your mat, coming into a modified side plank. Raising the right arm to the sky, just like triangles, stack your wrists in one line And now feel how you're rebounding your weight off the floor through your left hand. So rather than sinking the weight down, you're pushing off the ground and creating more space in your left shoulder joint, lifting the left side of your torso. For the last 3 breaths, you might explore flexing the right foot, raising the heel about the height of your right hip, maybe raising the right arm overhead. Now steadying your breathing, look down and begin to lower onto all fours or plank, whether you want to flow on your own vinyasa, cat-cow, take rest, or go straight to downward facing duck. Feel the breath in, balance with the breath out. Soft whisper at the back of your throat. From downward dog, inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhaling, slowly tap the left knee outside of your left upper arm, shifting forward into plank. Stay there. As you inhale, see if you can lift the left knee a little higher towards the armpit. And then exhale, lightly set the left foot down outside of your left hand. Oh, so as you're here in lizard lunge, I just noticed that the camera was going weird because I was getting a phone call. Sorry about that. And flex your left foot and splay your left thigh open so that you're leaning on the knife outer edge of your left foot without rolling onto the outer ankle. Remember, you could lower the back knee to the floor if you're feeling congestion in the neck and shoulders. You could lower your forearms down lower if you want more sensation in that left hip. Let's take about 3 more breaths. Gently scissoring your left outer hip back and extending your chest forward. And start to place your hands so that your left foot is between them at the top front of your mat or center of your mat. Spin the right heel down, turn the right toes slightly to face the front, and align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot for warrior 2. Come down to your feet and cartwheel your arms apart to rise. So see that your wrists are pretty much stacked above your ankles unless you want a less intense pose where the feet can be closer together. Wrap your left sitting bone down underneath your body as you firm the top of your right thigh bone back. I'm just going to adjust the camera as you stay here for a few more breaths. Steadying your gaze just past your left fingertips or closing your eyes. One more breath here. Virabhadrasana 2. Then straighten your left leg for triangle. Engage the fronts of your thighs. You might like to shorten your stance a couple inches to help with stability. Glide your pelvis sideways towards the back edge of your mat and reach your left hand forward before lowering it down, finding the height at which to place your left hand. Maybe it's outside of your left leg, where it doesn't feel like you're squishing the left side of your torso. You're still able to rotate the left outer hip slightly under, and now you're adding that you're tacking the left hip crease back. As you extend the right arm up, feel your shoulders and wrists stack as you slide the shoulders away from the neck, lengthening the crown forward. And then maybe you're gazing up towards the right thumb as you're turning the chest slightly to face the sky, unless it doesn't feel okay on your neck. Let's give it 4 more breaths here. So the stillness that you commit to within the posture is so important to really be aware of our tendencies to jump out of something uncomfortable or to go past our edge, finding that balance. So now let's sweep the right arm overhead, wrap the right tricep to face the right wall. Look at your left foot and take a deep breath. Exhale the right hand to the floor. Lower your right knee to the ground as you prepare for that modified side plank on the side. Slide your left. As you raise the left arm, just like triangle, stack your wrists. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Firm the lower belly. So many similar principles in these postures. You might explore lifting the left foot, flexing it so the heel is about the height of your hip. Take about 3 more breaths in modified Vashisthasana. You might reach the left arm overhead. Then with calm breathing, steady to gaze down and over onto all fours or plank. Maybe you're flowing through Chaturanga, or maybe you're going straight to downward dog, your choice. When you arrive at your version of downward facing, take about 3 breaths, and again, in stillness. With very bent knees, look ahead of your hands and empty the breath. Walk or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, float. Sweep the arms. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, the hands together at your heart. So let's play a little more with hand to big toe pose that we practiced yesterday. Some standing balancing. Shifting your weight onto your right foot. Be aware of how you spread your weight through the entire sole of that foot. Spread the toes, engage the front muscle of the right thigh, and then place your right hand on your right hip, feeling the balance of your 2 hips. Engage the lower belly. Imagine you're zippering it in and up. As you raise the left leg, flex the foot right away and catch hold of the outer knee. So notice if you start to hike up that left hip. That's pretty natural, but try to draw the sitting bone downward towards your inner right heel. Now you can keep the knee bent and open the leg slowly, or if you're gonna straighten the left leg to some degree, either use a strap around the ball of the foot, have some tension as you pull that strap, or clasp the big toe with your index and middle fingers. As you extend the left leg to whatever degree, draw your left shoulder bone back into the socket and down. Realign your 2 hips as leveled as you can, and then externally rotate your left thigh. So that means turn it out before opening the leg. Keep flexing the left foot either way, and then open the right arm too. If you start to tilt your torso off center, then adjust your left leg. You don't have to open it so wide. You could bend the left knee further. Make it more important that your torso stays vertically upright than how much you open that left leg to the side. Let's take 3 more breaths here in Utthita Hasta Paramgushtasana, hand to big toe pose. Now slowly bring the left leg forward. Imagine standing up. So lift your pelvic floor and then raise the arms overhead. Breathe in, exhale, that's 3. Inhale, standing tall, exhale, that's 2. 1 more, inhale, lift up, and exhale, set your left foot down. Shake it out, circle the right foot out, do what you need to reset. Good, I see that you have a strap. All right, so let's bring the feet to touch. Spread your weight down through the sole of your left foot, even spreading the toes without gripping the mat. Place your left hand on your left hip. Be aware of keeping your 2 hips balanced, and then draw in the lower belly and up. Bending the right knee, flex the foot and catch the outside of the knee with your right hand. Notice if that hip starts to hike up. Here's that awareness of subtleties, or not so much subtle, but level the hips. And now choose to either keep the knee bent, or if you're gonna straighten it to some degree, wrap the strap or clasp the big toe. And as you extend the leg, you wanna feel a little tug of war type of contrasting forces in order to help keep lifting up, rooting down and lifting up. And then externally rotate your right thigh bone at the hip before opening the leg. finding the degree where you can still maintain that center line of your body, all connected, all vertical. Reaching the left arm open can help counterbalance. And let's take at least 3 more breaths here. So think about rotating your right sitting bone downward towards your inner left heel. It's the same action of that front leg in Warrior 2 that we've just practiced. Now slowly bring the right leg in front of you. Keep flexing the foot. Imagine boat pose, standing on one leg. Raise the arms overhead and take a deep breath in. Exhale, that's 3. Inhale, relax the shoulders, find some lightness here. Exhale, 2. Smile, release some tension in the face. Exhale, let it go. Shake it out, dance it out, whatever you need. Let's come up to the top of the mat. Bring your feet to touch, preparing for chair pose. A few breaths. So bend your knees to touch and sink your weight back towards your heels by gliding your shin bones back. You want your toes to be visible from where you are. If you're looking for more rigor, graze the floor with your fingertips and try to keep your hips that low for the remaining 4 breaths. As you raise the arms, remember not to shrug the shoulders so you can have the arms further forward if needed. Now feel how you're supporting the natural curve of your lower back. Hug the bottom of your front ribs in and even think of melting them downward towards your pubic bone. Last breath here, softening the edges somewhere. With an exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen the float Chaturanga. Insert your own vinyasa. It could be cat-cow. Following the pace of your breath, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Now once there, keeping your hips leveled, inhale, raise the right leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the knee towards your nose, lightly stepping the right foot just inside of your right hand into a lunge. Now, if you want more support, you lower the back knee. Otherwise, you're on the ball of your left foot, imagining as if you're dragging the feet toward each other. Don't visibly move them, but just feel that kind of energy in the legs so that you can slowly rise up into crescent pose. So if your back knee is off the floor, do bend it, at least for the beginning of this posture, to help draw the tailbone down as you engage the belly to help lift the frontal hip bone slightly. It's trying to keep that pelvis upright and maintain conscious space in the lower back. Then as you raise the arms, relax the shoulders and steady your gaze. A few more breaths here. Now keep that energy of dragging the legs towards each other. So the 2 hip bones try to stay the same height. And at your waistline, we did this in the beginning sitting down, begin to turn your rib cage to face your right wall and open both arms like a T. Now, if you find your torso starting to lean towards the front of your mat, you could bend the left knee and start from the bottom up to vertically align your spine. Draw the shoulder blades down. Last couple of breaths, maybe look back towards your right thumb if you want to challenge your balance more. So feel how you're using your obliques, side muscles of your core, to generate the twist at your waist, not your pelvis. Let's keep using that as you reach the left arm forward. Decide to either lower the left hand inside of the right leg or hook the left elbow outside the right thigh. Either the arms wide open there or joining the hands in prayer. Now firming your left heel back, if the knee is off the floor, feel your left thigh lift away from the ground. Bending the right knee just over the heel, feel your right hip sink towards the ground. Hug your 2 hips towards the midline and keep twisting, hollowing the belly as you exhale. Now, is there any added tension in the upper body, like the shoulders, the face? Being aware of how you are balancing effort with surrender, with ease. One more breath. Now look at your right foot and begin to frame it with your fingertips. Step your left foot forward 1 foot, shorter stance, spin the heel down, and bring your hands to your hips. With straight legs, lead with the chest, inhale to right. Bring the hands behind you so we can open the chest some more, either pressing fist to fist, holding opposite elbows, or reverse prayer, palm to palm with fingertips pointing up between the shoulder blades. Now keep sealing in the bottom front ribs. Lead chest, look up as you breathe in, and begin to hinge forward from your hips as you breathe out. Little by little, like we did in our first forward fold, Janu Shirshasana, sitting down. Keep going, a few more breaths here in pyramid or Parsvottanasana. Feel the weight of your back heel counterbalancing your forward fold as you engage the fronts of your thighs. Engage the belly. Nice. From here, look forward, right toes, and crawl your fingertips 1 foot ahead, shifting forward into a modified warrior 3. You might bend the right knee if you're feeling any tightness in your hamstring. As you raise the left leg parallel to the floor, square your hips. Think of spiraling the inner left thigh slightly towards the sky as you flex that foot. Take your left fingertips and place them about a foot in front of your right big toe. We're preparing to twist here. Take your right thumb and hook the right hip crease back. Keep balancing the pelvis, and now lengthen the crown. Breathe in. At your weight, and as earlier, twist and open your chest to face the right wall. Maybe you decide to raise the right arm. Let's take a few more breaths here in revolved half moon pose. Harita Ardha Chandrasana. If you want to play with your balance some more, you can try looking up towards the right thumb. Imagine that your left heel is pressing against your back wall. Helps to engage the muscles in that lifted leg. As you're ready to come out of it, set your right hand down again and simply step the left ball of your foot all the way back to a lunge and step into downward facing dog. Or flow if you need to keep moving in between. Once you arrive in downward dog, be still and just tune in to the effects of those actions for a few breaths. From downward, keep your hips squared and inhale, raise the left leg behind you. As you exhale, softly land on the side of your left hand, stay on the ball of your right foot or lower the back knee into a lunge. Rising up slowly, imagine you're dragging the feet towards each other so you feel stability from the bottom up. Scissoring left hip back, right hip forward as you bend front knee just over the heel. Keep your pelvis upright, belly or center contained. Take a deep breath, and now at your waistline, begin to turn your chest to face your left wall and open the arms wide. So here it's an open twist. It's the side muscles of your core, your obliques, that are generating this rotation of your rib cage, while you use your glutes and outer hips to keep the stillness of your pelvis, to stabilize your lower back. Last couple of breaths. Maybe you gaze back towards your left thumb. Now looking forward, reach the right hand forward either to the ground inside of your left leg or hook the right elbow outside your left thigh, choosing to open the arms wide or joining the palms in prayer for a few more breaths in the twist. If your back knee is off the floor, firm the right heel back and feel your right thigh lift away from the mat. As you bend the left knee just over the heel and scissor the left hip back and down. With stability at your center, hollow the belly as you exhale and twist. One more breath. Now gaze at the floor and frame your left foot with your fingertips. Step your right foot forward about 1 foot, shorter stance, and spin the heel down. With straight legs, bring your hands to your hips. Engage the belly and inhale to rise. So you want to have equal weight on both feet, both hips facing forward with legs straight. Let's bring the arms behind your back. Pressing fist to fist, or switching the hold of the elbow on top, or reverse prayer. As you broaden the chest, seal the bottom front ribs in, and inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge, just a little bit of your range, and pause as you breathe in, finding more stability through the legs as you lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge, another little bit. And just like that, keep going for a few more breaths. Utthita Parshvottanasana, pyramid pose. Feel the open space at your throat. Listen to the balanced quality of your breath. Now gaze at the floor in front of your left toes and place your fingertips 1 foot ahead. Flexing the right foot, lift the right leg parallel to the floor, coming into a modified warrior 3. Remember, you could bend your left knee if you're feeling resistance in the hamstring or to help square the hips. Think of spinning your inner right thigh towards the ceiling, and as if you're pushing your right heel against the back wall, find the strength in that lifted leg. Now let's prepare to twist. Walk your right fingertips 1 foot in front of your left big toe. Use your left thumb to hook the outer crease of your left outer hip back. Rebalance the hips. Breathe in, lengthen from right heel to the crown of your head. Hollow the belly and twist at your waistline, turning the chest to the left. You might explore raising the left arm. You might explore looking up towards the left thumb. Notice if your right leg starts to intersect your midline and sway to the left. Just bring it back to hips distance apart between your feet. When you decide you're done, lower the left hand back to that modified warrior 3. Then crawl the hands back and land the ball of your right foot to the rear of your mat in a lunge. Last vinyasa, if you want to take it, we're going to meet in Sphinx pose on your stomach with forearms. And once you are in Sphinx, have your elbows about 1 inch in front of your shoulders. Have your knees no wider apart than hips distance as you bend the right knee and backstroke the right arm. Oh, let's make sure to cross the left forearm in front of your chest to help you balance. So backstroke the right arm, catch the side, the big toe side of your right ankle or foot, and gently bring your right heel towards the outside of your right hip. So with the support of that left forearm across your mat, allow your chest to stay lifted and facing forward. As you're stretching your right quadricep, perhaps you feel in the hip flexor too, ground your pubic bone to help support space in your lower back. Let's give it 2 more breaths here. We're also opening up the front of your right shoulder, so try to relax the tops of your shoulders down. Then gently release your right leg, come back to Sphinx. Scoot the knees closer together and cross the right forearm in front of your chest. Bending your left knee, backstroke your left arm and catch hold of the big toe side, the inside of your ankle or foot. Bringing the left heel slightly towards the outside of your left hip, ground your pubic bone. Draw both shoulder heads back, relaxing your shoulders down for a couple more breaths. Release the left leg. And let's lower the right ear to the floor. Slide the right arm straight open to the right with a palm face down. Pressing the ground away with your left hand, gently roll over onto your right side. Soften the right shoulder blade further down your back to create space on that side of your neck. And just explore the sensation, or let the sensations guide you to exploring the depth or how much you lean back. Maybe you step the left foot behind you. You might experiment with how it feels to wrap the left arm behind the back, or to even step the right foot on the floor too. We're just here for a couple last breaths. Slowly unwinding, come onto your stomach. Gradually switching to side 2. Roll your left ear to the floor, slide the left arm straight out to the left with the palm face down, and with the help of your right hand pressing the ground, gently roll over to your left side. Scoot the left shoulder head away from your neck. Notice if there's any difference in depth that you need to attend to, rather than an expectation. Just feeling moment by moment. practice by practice. Let's give it a couple last breaths. Gently roll onto your stomach. And let's slide into child's pose for about 3 breaths. Just draw the feet together, knees together or apart, and let your pelvis heavily rest down to your heels. Rest your forehead. Breathe in through the nose. Take a slower breath out through the mouth. 2 more times like that. Longer exhales through your mouth to cool off. Hands alongside your knees. Inhale, roll your spine slowly upright and slide both legs in front of you to sit. For one last posture, Paschimottanasana, a seated forward fold. So have your feet hips width apart. You might use a strap around the balls of your feet. Either way, flex your feet and ground your sitting bones, lifting the spine. Take a deep breath. Then hinge from your hips as you exhale. Breath by breath. If no strap, hold on to your legs or clasp your big toes and find a slight lift in your chest. Baby version of cobra as you slide the shoulders away from your neck. Belly firm zone. 3 more breaths. And leading with your chest, inhale, slowly rise up. Separate your feet a little wider than hips width. And take a moment to just shake out the legs or roll the thighs inward and outward. And then just let them be loose. Come all the way down to your back and use your thumbs to frame the middle of your spine on left and right sides. Tracing your thumbs firmly downward alongside your spine. Release the flesh of your glutes towards the backs of your knees. And turn the palms to face up, slightly away from your sides, and walk the shoulder blades down your back ribs. Feel the equal weight of both shoulders as you gently turn your head in any direction to find neutral in your neck. Close your eyes. And feel the subtle weight of your eyeballs sink into their sockets, like pebbles you throw into a pond. Concentric circles of the feeling of calm, the feeling of groundedness, expanding throughout your body. As you simply observe natural breath, let's be still here for a few minutes in Shavasana. inward, observing your natural flow of breath. Begin with small movements to ease your body into a stretch. Maybe turning the head, maybe raising the arms. Aware of the effects of your physical asana practice thus far. Take your time drawing your knees together into your chest. Turn over to your right side, resting your head, keeping the eyes closed. Then as you're ready, press the ground and lift your body up to a comfortable seat. As most of you know, we've been practicing an additional 10 minutes after the asanas on Fridays for meditation. But if you choose to finish class now, namaste to you. And if you are staying, I'm gonna set the timer for 2 minutes so that we can practice a brain balancing, left and right hemisphere balancing breath work called Nadi Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breathing to set the tone for us to be more in tune with the subtleties that we're listening to in the mind and body for meditation. So let's begin with the left hand resting on your lap. You might like to bring the thumb and first finger to touch to help concentrate. And then with your right hand, stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring finger. So you're just breathing through the nose, the mouth is closed, but keeping the breath soft but sustained. You might eventually close your eyes and direct your gaze to one spot between the eyebrows, but feel the pattern, and once you have the pattern of this breath work, just continue at your own pace whenever you're ready. So setting the timer for 2 minutes, exhale this breath completely, hold it out. Then use your right thumb to cover your right nostril and inhale through your left. Hold the breath in. Last 2 fingers, cover left nostril, exhale through right. Hold the breath out. Inhale through right. Hold. Right with thumb, exhale. Hold. Inhale left. Hold. Cover left. Exhale right. Hold. Keep going on your own. Finish the cycle of breath you're on, and then just release your hands in your lap and breathe naturally. Transitioning right into meditation. It's not going to be guided so much today as I'd like you to really commit to that stillness we've been priming in our physical postures. To tune in, observe, comes up in your mind. And if you start to become entangled in the thought that you feel lifted out of the present moment, return to the feeling of your body breathing as an anchor to remind you that you're watching the thought but are not it. So we have that for the next 7 minutes. Allow a deeper breath to feel your body physically here. And as you bring the palms to meet at your heart, bowing in, for just a moment of reflection, what did you gather from your meditation, from your being aware of what goes on in your mind? Did you notice anything repeat? Patterns? Just the same way that we are observant of our bodies when we're practicing physical yoga, or observant of our minds when we're meditating, we can bring these practices to enrich our daily lives. Like, who would have thought that brushing your teeth too hard would cause cavities? Anything too hard, anything to the extreme. So finding that way to bring the practice of balance that we do in yoga into our everyday lives. Let's close with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.